understand how mind uh, controls. That's a nice story. Devotees used to actually say a nice story. Say, for example, you wanted to visit your old friend's house. You got to know your old schoolmate, and you wanted to visit your schoolmate's house, and you happened to recognize his house. You just barged in his house without even calling him, right? And you stood at the gate. And off late, when you go stand at the gate of somebody's house, who actually welcomes you first? Who welcomes you first when you go stand? A dog, right? Or a watchman. Take, for example, a dog, right? A big Alsatian dog, which is very ferocious, right? And the dog actually comes immediately as soon as you go close to the door. It immediately comes next to the door. Bow, 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 bow. It starts barking, right? And it continuously keeps barking until you actually leave the door. It keeps barking. And looking at the barking of the dog, the owner of the house actually opens the door and he comes out. And the dog actually turns his face, looks at the owner. And if the owner has a nice smile in his face and then recognizes the person outside the door, what will the dog do then?
It's silent.
It will shake its tail. It will shake its tail, it will keep its mouth shut, and then it will actually almost treats the other person as your friend anymore, right? No more treats the other person as a threat. It actually treats the other person as a friend. And once the door gets opened, you actually walk into the door, the dog will keep shaking its tail. It will never be a threat to you. It will never be barking at you anymore, right? And it will be a good friend. This dog is like the mind. Until you bring the owner of the dog, the mind will disturb you. But once you bring the owner of the mind will then settle down nicely. Now tell me, who is the owner of the mind? Right. The mind never belongs to us. Mind was never under our control. The more we actually attempt to control the mind, the more we will be unsuccessful in our life. The more we actually bring in the owner of the mind, the more the mind will actually settle down nicely and be a good friend with us. So all we need to do is we need to actually bring the owner of the mind in our life. Then the mind will actually cooperate with us. Some of you actually said that mantra. We chant mantra because manastrayate iti mantra, the one which actually delivers the mind. Right? So how the mind gets delivered? When you bring the owner of the mind. Who is the owner of the mind? The Supreme Lord. Right? We never actually brought the mind when we took birth. Right? When we took birth with this body was given to us. Father and mother have a union, then we get born, we appear in the womb of the mother, and then there the body is actually given to us. It actually gets, the formation of the body happens in mother's womb, and one fine day we come out of the mother's womb, then we start living independently. Right now we have kind of grown up, and we have a body which is like which is living along with us all the while. And one fine day we have to give up this body and go. Anybody here can live in this body permanently? Nobody, right? All of you know very well you have to one day give up this body. We all have been seeing so many of us giving up this body and then going away. Why somebody gives up what body and goes away? Sorry, time got over. Okay, nice answer. Why you have to leave your body and go away?
The Anma will go. Anma is
Okay.
indestructible.
Okay.
The body has to go.
Okay, Prabhu says Atma has to go. Nice. Okay. But why we have to give up this body? That's the nice answer. It never belonged to you. If something really belongs to you, you can always own it. Right? Something which doesn't belong to you, you can never keep it for long. Simple answer. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It never belonged to you. It was given to you. This whole body was given to us by the Lord. Our mind was given to us, our intelligence was given to us, our body was given to us. All that we actually have today, and we claim ourselves saying it is all mine. My bank balance, my wealth, my property, my family. We can never take any of these things. Bhagavatam says very nicely, saying that when the river actually flows down, lot of straws actually come and may actually come together and will stay in the stream for some time, and after some time it will actually go depart and then keep going away in its down the course, right? Sometime it will come together, sometime it will go away, and then sometime something else will come together, something else will go away. Temporarily straws come together, stay along for some time and then goes away. Today we have a different father, we have a different mother, we love our father, we love our mother, we love our brothers, sisters, all of them. Our spouse, our children, all of them. Right? But there is no guarantee saying that we will all stay together after a while. In fact, the scriptures actually say people who have some karma exchange. You all heard about karma, right? People who have some karma exchange, they are actually brought together. Say, for example, if I need to suffer something from somebody and I need to give some pleasure to somebody, those people are brought together in the same family and then they nicely fight and then they depart. Right? How many of you fight with your husband and wife? You have some exchange with you. Right? Both of you have some exchange to actually settle down. And just that the Lord made an arrangement for both of you to come together, some exchange happens between both of you and then it all settles down. Nice to hear, right? Right? So in the same way, this body was actually given to us. It was given to us by the Lord with some arrangement. Today we have some good, so-called, so to say, some bank balance, and we have got a nice sophisticated body with some, with some kind of facilities that are actually given to us. There are so many people who live in a human body and then they starve. They don't get sufficient food even for one day. They don't get the money that we all actually get, and they actually suffer. But our life may be little better compared to them. Relatively, we can be little better than them. Right? We may be provided with many bare minimum things easily. Right? There is a saying that two people may be born at the same time, in the same place, in the same hospital, but each of them may have a different future. One may be born in a family with a silver spoon, and other may actually have, barely may get food, daily food a day. Right? So on what basis all these things actually happen? So we call it karma. Right? So what does karma means then? Deeds of a person. Okay, not just deeds. Okay, I can take this deeds. Okay, fine. Any other definition for karma? Anybody can think of? I'm sorry?
Travels from the past.
Travels from the past. Okay. Nice. What does karma means? We all born in India, we all know all this technical jargons very easily. Right? It's not something new for all of us. We knew. When somebody questions, then we start thinking, "Hey, Baba, kya पूछ रहा है?" हाँ बोलिए बोलिए.
उसके अच्छे कर्म
हाँ.
उसके पूर्व में या उसने जो भी आप अच्छे कर्म करे तो हमें दिख रहा है नहीं गुरु जी के सत्कार में अच्छे कर्म उसी के हिसाब से आपको लाइफ आगे जाके कैसी होगी आपकी लाइफ और नेक्स्ट जन्म आपका कैसा होगा तो अपने अच्छे कर्मों के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. ऐसे नहीं कि अपन कर्म तो कर रहे हैं लेकिन अभी कुछ बुरा कर्म करे अपन बोल भी नहीं रहे, लेकिन आपको बिना बोले सब लोग देख रहे हैं फिर भी बोले नहीं गुड अच्छे कर्म कर रहा है. वो बिना बोले किसी से बुलवाता नहीं फिर भी लोग बोलते हैं उसके लिए
Okay.
ये अच्छा कर्म कर रहा है. तो वही उसी के जन्म से उसको पुनर्जन्म कैसा जन्म मिलेगा कैसे पेरेंट्स मिलेंगे तो वो सब उसके अच्छे
तो अच्छे कार्य करेंगे तो आपको अच्छा फल मिलेगा.
धर्म के प्रति हो के धर्म के
Right.
अपन धर्म तो कुछ अलग कर रहे हैं कर्म कुछ अलग करे लेकिन अपने धर्म में रहते हुए बिल्कुल वो अच्छे कर्म कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
उसके हिसाब से हमको
Okay, nice. Right.
All the actions, whether good or bad, so reacting now.
Right. Okay. So karma technically means saying that how much of pain you give to another person, that much pain you will actually get back. And how much of happiness you give to another person, that much happiness you will get it back. Right? You give pain to one person, the same amount of pain will come back to you. It may be anything. For example, any living entity to live in this world, they have to live at the cost of another person. That's why our scriptures say, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. One Jiva lives at the cost of other Jiva. Everybody have to live at the cost of other Jiva in this material world. That's the law of material nature. And a person cannot be without actually doing karma in this material world. Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Krishna says, Karyatehi avasha karma sarvam prakriti jairgunai. So Krishna says, Nahi kaschit shana. Even for a kshana, a moment, a person cannot be without doing karma. They will be doing something or the other. All the time. So the amount of pain that we give to others in the form of words, in the form of deeds, in the form of action, it may be anything. If another person gets pained because of us, our action, our words, we will get it back for sure. And how many of you very fluently pains others here? Right? The more fluently we pain others, you can expect how bright your future will be. बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. Right? And don't say later saying that I was a good person.
If unknowingly also.
आ जाएगा. अगर फायर में हाथ रखें जलेगा तो जरूर जलेगा. Right? If you keep your finger inside the fire, it will burn. It doesn't. It is said that Prabhupada says in the book saying that material nature's laws are very, very stringent. Even if a child unknowingly puts his finger in the fire, it will burn. Fire will not see that it's a small child, 2 months old, 3 months old. Oh, I should not burn its finger. Does fire see like that? Jalega hi jalega. Right? No excuse. That's what karma is all about. The amount of pain you give, amount of pleasure you give to somebody else, the same amount you will get it back. Like today you are actually cutting vegetables. Vegetable is a part of a plant, right? You take a vegetable from it, you pluck it from it. Just like if somebody plucks your fingers and then cuts it and makes a sabji out of it. How will you feel? बहुत अच्छा रहेगा ना? If somebody takes your son or a daughter, drags them to slaughterhouse, butchers them, how will you feel? The same amount of pain a chicken or a goat or a cow or any cattle will have the same pain. And the amount of pain you give to somebody else, that amount of pain will come back to you for sure. Now tell me how many of you are living a karma-free life? Nobody can escape. Even if you drink water, in that water a lot of microbes are there. We actually eat that and then that gets killed in the fire of the stomach. You breathe, you are actually leaving out hot air. And that hot air, so many microbes gets killed. Nobody can live here while walking. You are stamping, you are coolly, don't even look down and then you walk. As if this world belongs to us. We use the resources, natural resources, as if it belongs to us. It was given to us, granted. What if demigod starts putting tax for the air that you breathe, the sun that you consume, the water that you drink, if all that is being taxed by the Mother Earth? How will it be? Right? Today government is taxing all of us because they are actually giving a provision to make sure it reaches your home, the water reaches the tap at your home. And for the provision that they make, they actually take some tax. But water, we don't pay for it really. It is only for the provision we actually we pay it. Right? We don't pay for the air that we breathe, the sunlight that we take. We don't pay for all these things. But all these things matters. If we don't actually give back We are as good as a thief. That's what scriptures say. Bhagavad Gita says it very clearly. Yajna sishta sinasanto muchyante sarva kilbishai bunjate tva agama papam ye pachanti atma karanat. A person who lives only for his own enjoyment, not giving it back in return to the demigods, to the Supreme Lord, he is as good as a thief. And what does thief get? Punishment, suffering. That's what we all are getting here. Are we not suffering here? To the extent we actually live a sinful life, to that extent we will suffer here. That's what nature's laws are. Nice one, right? And that's why nobody is really happy living in this body. Anybody here who is very happy in this body? Nobody is really happier. That's so bad. We are all suffering here in this body, but it appears to be as if the other person is happy. Right? When you see a husband and wife actually having a nice chat and walking in the street, we all actually think, oh, that family is so happy and I am so. But if you get into their life, they will actually think, oh, this person is so happy, I am so sad. That's what they think. And the fact is, everybody is actually going through a terrible life here in this material world. Everybody. You know it or not. Just that they cover it up with their face. That's all. Everybody is actually having a very tough time. Material world is designed to actually suffer. Nobody can actually be happy here. That's how material world is designed. A jiva in this material world, in this body, is designed to actually suffer. This body is given to all of us to suffer. That's all. Simple. This body is a prison house for all of us. We are the living entity who is sitting inside this body. We are the person who is inside this body, and this body is like a prison. And this body constantly have been giving trouble to all of us. Right? Miseries due to our own body. Right? We get back pain, we get knee pain, we get stomach pain, we get head pain, this pain, that pain, all kinds of pain. How many of you have experienced all these pains? Come on. Right? We have all these pains with the body. And over to that, we actually have pains with the mind also. Our own mind actually gives pain. We have a gross body made up of what you actually see here. The skin, which is actually so thin, right? Once you make a break in the skin, you open it up and then you will not actually like to see it any further. Just like they say, beauty is skin deep. Once you open the skin, make a cut in the skin and then rip it open, how many of you will come closer to that body? Nobody will come closer to the body. Because what is inside is actually like very, very difficult to see. It has blood, it has mucus, pus, bones, flesh. You have all the bodies like bodily parts, heart, pancreas, lungs, all that is there. We don't like to actually see a person's. Like a doctor's job is a curse. How many of you are doctor here? Anybody, by any chance? How many of you open the body and see here? It's a curse for them to actually work with the body. Right? They also actually have a tough time because when you are a mechanic, anybody is a mechanic here? Okay, we don't have mechanics also. All of you are software donkeys, huh? Okay. Right. So a mechanic, they actually work with a vehicle or a car when the vehicle is actually standing still. They actually look at the parts, open the engine and all those things. But this is a machine. This body is also a machine. It's like a vehicle which we are actually currently using. And this vehicle, if it needs to be did some work by a mechanic, by a doctor, they have to do it when it is working. Just like imagine how a mechanic has to actually open up the engine when the engine is running. Will any mechanic do that? They will not do that because the amount of hazard is there to actually do that. It's very, very, very difficult. But here a doctor has to actually do that. They have to sometimes do a cardiologist may have to actually work with the heart. They sometimes cut open here, open the chest, they pull the heart out of the body, and then they do so many things and then they put back. And if something goes bad happens, they take it in writing saying that we are not responsible. Yes or no?
Anesthesia.
Sorry, anesthesia. Yeah. So many things. This body is actually so complex that even doctors and scientists don't understand everything of it. No doctor in the world will be daring to actually touch this portion of the body. It is so complex because all the nervous system actually comes here. Anything happens here, they will just say, pray to God, let it heal by itself. That's what they will say. They don't have the capacity to do things. Doctors are not God. They didn't create this body. They know to some extent to engineer to connect these things. Just like an electrician, he comes and connects the wire and then brings the electricity inside the house. Makes the switch work, bulb work, fridge work, TV work, all those things. That's a simple connection anybody can actually make. But to make something is not possible for us. We cannot even make a mosquito. Right? We cannot even make a mosquito. Today, even some scientist has to make a mosquito. They have to take a DNA from a mosquito and then they do all these things and then they come up with something. But from scratch, they cannot make. They are not so sophisticated. This body, this machine is designed by the Lord. It is designed by the Lord for a living entity to stay inside this body and then suffer for all that bad deeds that a person has done. So we are Jiva, we are spirit souls, we are Atma. We are sitting inside this body today. We all of us are Atma, spirit souls. We are sitting inside this body. And then this body is like a prison for us. It has captured us. And then we are suffering inside this body in different ways. And the whole outside world is doing a nice business out of it. It's actually showing some glamorous things in front of us and making us forget this reality that I am suffering inside this material world. Just like they show a nice, I don't know, these days the billboards seems to be coming up again. But those days, 5 years back, 10 years back, if you see Bangalore, they will actually have a nice billboard on the road when you go. And the billboard, they keep huge flexes and they lit up in the flex in the night. It looks so real than even the real ones. Right? Buy this 2 BHK, buy this 3 BHK in Kakkadasapura, make your sweet home. How many of you bought home looking at that flex? Right? You ended up buying a loan. And then you suffer for next 15 years, 20 years. You cannot even lead a proper life. Right? Somebody is making money out of it. And then you cannot live in that house also for long. You will have to give up this house and go. Just like you cannot even live in this house for long. Forget about that house. You cannot live in even this house. Right? This is a rented house for you, for all of us. We cannot even live in this house for long. We have to give this up at some point of time. That's the reality. This reality is really not talked about in schools and colleges, unfortunately. Nobody is really teaching us, saying that you are not this body, but you are a spirit soul. We are sitting here and discussing about the teachings of Bhagavad Gita because Bhagavad Gita is about spirituality, is about you, about spirit soul. That's why it is actually so touching to the heart. When we read integration, calculus, algebra, a square b, a plus b the whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. How many of you apply this in your life today? Okay, some of you. Right? Not all of you. You don't even know why you studied that. But here we are sitting here and learning something which is something very practical to all of us, which is applicable to each and every one of us. It is about you, your life, why you are living here, why you are put in this inside this material body. Why you are suffering, going through all these sufferings? Right? It's very much pertaining to all of us. That's why when you read Bhagavad Gita, when you read, you actually will feel a big connection between you and the book. You will not feel as if like you are reading something else. You will never feel a connection. You open a newspaper, you open some article in Google or whatever, you never actually feel connection. It is all information. So much of information is actually coming there, but you don't feel a connection with that. But here you actually feel the real connection because it is actually about you. It is about us. It is about my future. What is going to happen to me after I die? How many of you know it? Or how many of you want to know about it? We all want to know, right? We all want to know about our future. What is going to happen to us? We all are concerned about it. And that's why we are planning. Our whole of our planning today is to ensure our future next 5 years, next 10 years. But what is the future that we are actually planning about for after I die? You may feel like, I don't know. Why you are talking like that? I may not know about your future, but it is not that nobody knows. Right? There are so many people who actually remember even their past life. They remember their past life when they were born. They recollect when the small child, they were of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years old. They recollect their past life. They actually go to they say that I was born here, I was born in such a family. When the person was taken to that place, they recognize the house where they were living, they recognize the people. They speak in a very strange language which was not spoken to them by their parents. All those things are reality. I'm not saying a joke. There are so many past life memories, reincarnation incidents. You can go Google it. There are several books written on this. How did the person know about that previous life? It's not joke. This is a big science altogether, which is not being given importance with today. Because today the importance is given to earn money. Everybody go run behind money, 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 money. That's all they all. Whole education is to actually earn money. That's all. We are simply running behind money today. There is no real education. Education means all your problems should get solved. Real knowledge means your problems should be solved. But is the problem of death being solved by this education? Does it solve? Any education, any degree that we actually get in any college, any university which talks about death, we all have this problem. Yes or no? Any solution for that? Any education for that? Forget about solution. But any research, any education for that? So we all have this problem. Our scriptures say, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These 4 problems are there with us, not just 1 or 2. 4 of them. Any child born is born crying, screaming, not crying. We all have experienced that, just that we have forgotten it. We all, when we came out of the mother's womb, we were screaming and crying out of pain. But then with 1 year, 2 years has passed, just by singing happy birthday to you, we all forgot that. As the day passes, we forget it. Mrityu, nobody wants it. But nobody can escape from it. It is common to all. Jara, old age. When you start losing your hair, you become so concerned. When your skin goes shrinkling, you are very concerned. But can you do something for it? No. All of you would like to be in your youthful time. When you are 16 years, 18 years, 20 years, you had a very nice body. You wanted to be with that body. But now most of you, I see, you are 30 years, 40 years or more than that. You all have your own difficulties to live in this body. We are all actually marching towards old age. Moment a person is born, he starts marching towards old age. Everybody is marching towards old age. Every what you call birthday is an indication of that one more year has been passed. It is not an occasion to celebrate, actually, so to say. It is not an occasion to celebrate. It is an occasion to actually open our eyes and then see a reality that I am getting old. What am I doing for it? Did I make any plans for it or not? Vyadi. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. We all know about Vyadi. We are like 2 years back, we have faced enough. Right? We were locked inside home. We were having mental illness, bodily illness, physical illness, all illness we were actually having. And nobody can escape from it. It will search and actually come to us wherever we are. Just like Prahlad Maharaj actually says that just like disease, problems comes to us without giving any invitation, happiness will also comes to us without giving any invitation. We don't need to go and search for it. If you need to get it, it will come to you for sure. And you may not get it even if you work hard towards it. When you deserve to get it, you will get it for sure. And nobody can actually take away the happiness that you deserve, the suffering that you deserve. Nobody can take away from you. What you deserve, that you will get for sure. That's what our scriptures say. So we are having a constant problem living in this body all the time. We are having problem with this body, problem with our own mind. Then if nothing else, we get problem from others also. Adi Atmika Klesha, Adi Bhautika Klesha, Adi Daivika Klesha. Right? Adi Atmika is problems, miseries due to our own body. Adi Daivika Klesha, miseries due to other natural calamities. Adi Bhautika Klesha, miseries due to other living entities. If your family members does not trouble you, your boss may trouble you at office. If your boss does not trouble you, a mosquito will trouble you at night. And then one night sleep is gone, your next day is all spoiled. Yes or no? It happened to all of you, right? So, somehow or other, you will actually be troubled in this material world. This material world is not designed for us to actually live happily. It is just like our scriptures say, searching for water in a desert. What happens to a camel? Many times the camel may actually see a mirage. You know mirage, right? It appears to be like a water body. And the camel will run towards it very fast. As the camel keeps running towards it, the mirage will also keep moving. And we think that I'm very close to happiness. You keep running, that will also keep moving. And what happens end of the day? You will become 70 years old by the time you look back and see. 70 years, 80 years of old, and then you actually realize, what was the use? Why did I run so long in my life? Something message is coming, right? Confirmation. Right? So, any old person, you ask them, they will actually look back and they see I don't know why I actually struggled in my life so hard. There is no use behind it. I struggled for money when I was young, and that money is not bringing me happiness. I built a nice home to live, and my own children are not letting me live peacefully in that home. They are having a very tough time. Every person is having a tough time in this material world. That's the reality of life. Reality of life is that every jiva is suffering here in the body in which they are in. A human being is suffering in that body, a dog or a cat is suffering in its body, or a tree or a plant or a fish is suffering in its body. Everybody is suffering here. With our own body and mind, all of us are suffering here. And the only solution for all of us, that's why The scriptures have been stating from time immemorial, it has been stating, saying that every jiva is undergoing the cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Today, this life, we have a human body, and you are able to actually sit in this Gita course, and you are able to hear something, you are able to comprehend something, you have the intelligence today to comprehend all these things. But the same thing you will not be able to comprehend when you get a dog body. Right? I cannot like keep a pack of 10 dogs inside this room, lock it up, and then have a kirtan with them. What will the dog do? I may have to visit a hospital later, hopefully. Right? That's what will actually happen. So in this body is said to be sophisticated because it is actually given with certain amount of capacity. It is given with certain amount of capacity. Yesterday we were talking with some group of devotees. We had been like around 20, 30 devotees in a devotee's house. So many of us were sitting here. I was just pulling that host's legs, saying that what if the host of the host family has made a nice plan to call all 20, 30 of us inside their home, and they had a nice plan to butcher all of us. Right? Take one nice sword and then butcher all of us. Right? As soon as we start actually seeing that that the host actually has such a kind of a plan, we will immediately be our sixth sense, seventh sense, 10th sense will prompt us, say something dal mein kuch kala hai. And immediately we will try to get out of the house. Use our intelligence and get out of the house. The same thing happens to a goat. The goat, what does a butcher do in the shop? He will tie the goat in the shop, and then he will put some grass for it. And the goat will happily eat the grass. Until the butcher takes the sword and brings the sword closer to it, the goat will not be able to actually realize. It will think that my master is feeding me nice grass. Until the sword comes out, the knife comes out, the goat will not be able to actually recognize it. And the same in a plant body. Even if you take a knife to cut the plant, cut the tree doesn't protest. You look at the level of consciousness there. A human being, they have a much better intelligence, much better consciousness, much better capability. This body has that capability. And the animal body is a little lower in consciousness, lower in intelligence. It can do something marvelous. For example, we discussed about a cat, how it silently actually comes inside the house and then squeezes through the window, comes inside, knows where the milk is, it will drink the milk and silently get away. It has intelligence, but it doesn't use the intelligence for better things. And the body of a plant or a tree, it has much lower consciousness. It may not even feel the pain when you cut its branch. Not so much of pain. That's the level of consciousness that is there. All are living entities. A living entity in a human body, a living entity in a cat, dog or an animal body, a living entity in a plant, tree or some other body. All of them are living entities in different bodies. Everybody is a living entity in this. But the amount the body can actually exhibit, the amount the body can reciprocate, the amount of consciousness it can actually exhibit, awareness, absorption, it is different. And that's why human body is said to be a nice facility that is given to all of us. And if that facility is used nicely, we get rewarded with a much better facility. Just like if the company gives a facility to us and we use that nicely for company's profit, the company will reward us with much better facility. Yes or no? But if we misuse the facility that the company is providing us, then the facilities will be taken away. That's how the material nature's law work. If we don't use it for the right purpose, then the facility is taken away from us by force. Material law works like that. So there is a purpose for which this body is given to all of us. There is a purpose for this body. And what is that purpose? We need to actually understand it. Just like any device that you go and purchase, there is a user manual given along with it. And the user manual actually say how to use it, how not to use it. The same way for this, there is a user manual also. And we who are responsible, who are sitting inside this body, we are responsible to make use of this machine properly. If we misuse this machine, then we have to face the consequences for it. Simple. समझ में आ रहा है ना? Right? So it is up to us. You have the freedom. It is not that Krishna is actually, after speaking the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, he is pointing a gun at his head and say that you don't do this, you will be killed. He is not saying like that. Krishna said the whole of Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna and he said, Yete ichasi tata kuru. Now whatever you want to do, you do. I have done. I have spoken to you in complete length. I have given all the confidential knowledge to you because you are my devotee and friend. I have given all that to you. Now it is up to you. How you want to do it, you use it. Krishna never actually forces. The Lord will not force us. Lord is not a Hitler to say that you have to do like this, otherwise you will actually need to. He is not like that. He is actually giving us freedom. Freedom is there, but to some extent. We don't have full freedom also. Just like how a cow, when the farmer actually wants the cow to actually graze, what they do is they put a peg in the ground and then they tie the cow to that. Right? And the cow has the freedom to actually gaze around in that area. So some amount of freedom is there. It is not that we have full freedom. Some amount of freedom is there. And in that freedom, we have to make right choices. If we make right choices, then we actually get more freedom. Many people actually think that spiritual life is like obstruction or a difficulty that has been added to us. No. Spiritual life is to actually exercise our real freedom. Today we are not exercising our freedom to complete portion. Spiritual life will actually aid us to exercise our full freedom. And for that, we have to accept some kind of a restriction today. Just like Krishna actually talks about 3 kind of gunas in Bhagavad Gita, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. And Krishna says, happiness, he speaks a lot of things. And one of the things that Krishna speaks is about happiness in 3 modes of material nature. Happiness in Sattva guna, Krishna says. Happiness in Sattva guna is something like, it appears to be bitter in the beginning. But on the long run, it is actually very sweet, nectarian. Happiness in Rajoguna is something like, it appears to be very tasty now. But in a long run, it is actually very harmful. And happiness in Tamoguna is something like, it is harmful today and harmful forever. He gives 3 kinds of it. And it is up to us. Krishna never forces that. Just like you eat a healthy food today, you can expect a healthy outcome out of it. You eat something bad today, you feel the consequences for it. The bad thing may appear to be like very tasty, very nice. But you take it, you will have to face the consequences for it later. And there are some things which you eat, it is bad today also, bad forever also. It's something like that. So we have to actually make a choice here. What kind of life we want to live? What kind of life is really provided by the Lord to this body? That we need to understand. And Bhagavad Gita is like a manual for the living entities. It is applicable to all spirit souls. Not just to Hindu, Muslim, Christian. No. It is applicable to all spiritual living beings. Anybody who has a capacity to understand, it is a science. It is not a religious book. Just like any manual, you go and buy an iPhone, you get a manual for it. Does that manual belong to any particular community or caste or a person? No. Or a gold. Is there any Hindu gold, Muslim gold, Christian gold? Or for a sun? Is there like Muslim sun, Christian sun? Like Muslim sun wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning and then Christian sun wakes up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Is it something like that? The same way, this teachings of Bhagavad Gita is a science. It is applicable to all living entities. Anybody can take it, read it, apply it in their life, and they can feel the results out of it. It's a science. Just like 2 plus 2 equal to 4. It is same wherever you go. It's same everywhere you go. In the same way, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it's a science. It applies to all of us at all times. If we take it, make use of it, it will help us. Simple. Does it make sense? Right? So this Bhagavad Gita is a savior for all of us. It actually teaches us how we can get out of this cycle of birth and death. We have been suffering here taking this body. Every body is all of us staying inside a material body, all of us are suffering. How can I get out of this suffering? That's what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. That's the science it actually provides. Anybody can take use of it, make use of it, make their own life successful. It is for you, it is up to you to actually take that and make use of it. Right? So we are just providing a facility here. ISKCON is providing a facility here. Like I am coming and sitting here and speaking to all of you. I am not getting anything out of it. ISKCON society is not paying me any money out of it. Right? I am not getting anything, frankly to say. I have a job outside. I work just like all of you. I have a family. I have a son. I have a wife. I have everything, so to say. The Lord has provided me everything sufficiently. There is no need for me to actually come spend my precious Sunday evening, just like all of you have come. You are spending your precious Sunday evening here. Right? I am coming and spending my precious Sunday evening here. Everybody have a limited time. We have no time, so to say. But we all made a choice. I made a choice to come here, be with all of you, to speak something, to share something, what I have experienced in my life after reading Bhagavad Gita for some time. And you all have come here, given your precious time to hear something about the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. And both of us actually get benefited. By speaking to you all, my conviction on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita becomes even more firm. I can practice the teachings of Bhagavad Gita with even more vigor and determination. And by you hearing about it, your knowledge, your understanding about life gets improved. And when you apply it in your life, you get benefited out of it. There is no material dealing we are doing here. It is spiritual dealing. I don't expect anything from you, and you're not giving anything to me here, monetarily. Right? We don't expect anything. It's a pure service, so to say. This is what A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He had made a platform here where everybody can come here, take the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, apply that in their life, make their life successful and go back home, back to Godhead. Why take another life? Why enter into another mother's womb? And why suffer? That is the program of India. India is called as Bharat Mahan. Right? Today that Mahan is gone, only Bharat is there. Because nobody is following this science. This science actually made Bharat Mahan. And that science nobody is giving importance to. We all are actually following Western culture. We all have forgotten our own real original culture. Our culture is so great. Even today, so many people from outside India, they come here and try to learn this culture because they found this to be more valuable. the more connecting to them. Because in outside world, when Srila Prabhupada actually went to United States to start this movement, their people, United States even 30 years back, 40 years back, like, so I work in automobile technology basically. So I know what kind of technology is there globally in the global market, or what kind of technology is there in Indian market. Our automobiles in India are like 15 years, 20 years behind still. Right? They are very much more kind of like that. So they are living a very, very nice, sophisticated life. 50 years back when Srila Prabhupada was in United States, people were like desperate. They were not feeling any connection with that world. They could see a rat race there. Rat race is something like, for me to actually run ahead, I have to pull somebody down and then go forward. That's the kind of life people actually saw. And many people felt frustrated with that kind of life. And they don't want to be connected with all these things. They left everything. They left their nice job. They left their parents. They left home. And they were lying in the streets taking drugs. Because they were seeing nothing else in life which is giving some kind of a pleasure. But when Srila Prabhupada actually went to United States, started this movement, clapping his hands, chanting the holy name of the Lord, many people came to his class. They actually felt connection. When they heard the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, they actually felt that connection with themselves. They understood the purpose of living here. They gave up everything. They had already given up a lot of things, and once some small bad things that they were actually engaged with, they gave up even all of that, and they become pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. And many of those devotees are still carrying forward this movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, even today. Today, in even all the countries, any big city that you visit in any part of the world, morning 4:30, you will see the conch shell blowing in the temple hall. They will open the altar of the temple like this, and people will actually clap their hands and sing the holy name of the Lord. And at 8 o'clock in all the centers, you will hear Srimad Bhagavatam class there. 7:30, they will have a nice darshanarti in the morning. 8 o'clock, 8:15, they will have the Bhagavatam class. And all of the devotees take nice Krishna Prasadam every day. They are leading a very sanctified life, very peaceful life, which is less harmful to outside world, and they are living a life which is more concerned towards themselves. They are concerned about themselves. Outside life, you are harming yourself by doing so many things. And spiritual life means you are actually living a life for yourself. You are concerned about you, me, Jiva. I think more about me. I am concerned about me, my life. I don't want to commit sin and I don't want to suffer. I don't want to take another birth here in this material world and suffer. I am concerned about me. And I am concerned about my family members. Why they should also suffer here. Why my friends should suffer here. Why my colleagues should suffer here. I don't want anybody to suffer here. So they go and they learn and they go and share that with others. So that let me get benefited, whatever I got benefited with, let others also get benefited with it. They go and share that. That's what ISKCON is actually doing. That's what it's actually doing. That's the foundation that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has established, where everybody come here, take this nice facility, clap their hands and glorify the Supreme Lord there. That's what we do here. And all of you are welcome. You are most welcome to this society. There is no money that you have to pay. There is no membership here. You come here, you learn, you want to do some service, you are most welcome. You take charge here, you run the society. That's what the society is given to us. For example, this center as Kakadaspura, it is completely independent. It is completely independent. We are not getting any money from outside to run the show here. Devotees here, they actually voluntarily contribute. There is no compulsion. You give, fine. You don't give, fine. With whatever we have, we will run the show here. That's all. It runs based on voluntary contribution. And some people who actually felt a lot of connect to this, they have dedicated their life. Like we have Subandhu Govinda Prabhu here. Prabhu is a brahmachari. He has given his life. And there are many grahasthas, many family members, though they actually have a family, they have a job, they are like a work, they have a family, they have children. With all those things, they actually spend their extra time for service here. That's what this society is actually filled with. It's filled with all intelligent class of people who can actually think, saying that there is something more to the outside world. There's something more in me. They are no more feeling vacant in their heart. They have a connect with themselves and the Supreme Lord now. Or they are trying to establish a relationship with the Supreme Lord today. That's what this society is there for. So far in my journey, I have been found something fantastic here. I have not found a better place than this. That's why I'm staying here. As I said, I'm not getting anything, any monetary benefit. In fact, I am giving my money to here. But I'm feeling so much of happiness. That's why I'm coming here and sitting and sharing some things to you. And if you come inside, hopefully, you will also get the same thing. Right? So, the whole purpose of having this Gita course, this teachings of Bhagavad Gita, devotees go out in the December month as a book distribution marathon. They go out and distribute Bhagavad Gita. All those things are not for any material benefit. In fact, when we go and distribute Bhagavad Gita, we are all like most of them who are distributing Bhagavad Gita, they are all having a nice job. They are not actually doing this Bhagavad Gita as a business. We get book from the temple and then they say a rate. They fix a rate for the printing cost. Whatever printing cost for the book is there, we go and distribute that book in the same price. And whatever money we get from the public, we actually deposit to the temple. If somebody who is not having that money, we give it at a reduced price or even free of cost sometimes. And they put the money from their pocket and settle it to temple. That's what devotees do. And many people voluntarily give Lakshmi to distribute books because they all feel a connect here. They all feel that many people need to actually take this knowledge. They distribute Bhagavad Gitas. They sponsor Bhagavad Gitas. So all this actually happens here. The intent I found the intent to be here was actually good. That's why I am staying here. There's no purpose other ways to stay here. So my request is that all of you take benefit out of this. Right? When just like there is a saying that make hay while the sun shines. When facility is there given to us, we need to actually make use of that facility. An intelligent person makes use of the facility here. We don't know how long we are going to live in this body. We don't know how long we will get facilities like this. When facility is there, we have to make use of it. We cannot do all these things when we are old, 80 years old, bedridden. That time we cannot do it. Just like when a lover who actually wants to propose to his beloved, nobody actually offers a rose flower which is like this. Everybody offers a rose flower which is like blossoming. So when we have energy in the body, when we have capacity in this body, when we have strength in this body, that time we have to actually engage it properly. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabha manusha janma dehinam tadrapi adurvam artadam. Says Kaumaram acharet pragyo. This devotional service to the Supreme Lord needs to be practiced at Kaumara at the age of 5. We lost it. Right? We have gone quite far ahead. Right? Because we didn't get the right teachings, right samskara, right importance at right age. No problem. Kaumaram acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha. From the age of 5, this teaching has to actually start. Who was saying it? Prahlad Maharaj. He was 5 years old when he was talking this. He was talking to his fellow classmates. And who were their classmates? They were all demons. They were all demons actually. And to them Prahlad Maharaj was teaching. Durlabha manusha janma, he says. This human body is very rarely achieved. They said out of 84 lakh species of life, 84 lakh species of bodies are there. And we keep traveling between this one body to another body to another body to another body. And then at some point of time, we get a human body. This human body is said to be like a pinnacle, or like it's like a judgment point from where the decision is actually made. It's the best body that we have actually got in the process of evolution. Right? It is not an evolution of body, it is evolution of consciousness. It is not body transforms. Based on the consciousness of a person gets the body. And today we have got a human form of body. How we act in this body, that will help us determine the next body for us. You act like a tiger, you get the body of a tiger. You enjoy eating meat, flesh raw, make a bite and you take like that, you get a body next life according to that. You like sleeping very nicely for long hours, you enjoy nice sleeping, you will get a body like a polar bear which will sleep for 6 months, a year. Like what you do today, you will get a body. And in an animal body, you will get to do what you like to do in a much more sophisticated way. Don't think that you are actually living a best life. Animals are living even better life. For example, you like to have sex. A dog in the street can have sex freely. He doesn't actually have to cover himself in a room and then do sex. A pigeon, it says it has 42 times in a day it has sex life. If you think sex is an enjoyment, they are having a much better enjoyment, in fact, so to say. Right? So if you like to have some kind of an enjoyment in this life, you will be given accordingly a suitable body and you will enjoy that nicely there. But the problem is you will keep taking one birth after another birth after another birth after another birth, and you keep circling here and suffering here eternally. But this human form of life is an exit point. There is an opportunity to put an end to all these things. You take right steps in your life, do the right things which you need to do as per the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, you will get an opportunity to exit from this cycle of birth and death. That is what is the glorious teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So our request to all of you is that please do read Bhagavad Gita in your home. Please do help yourself, try to understand these teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Come here to this center. This center is open for all of you, and bring as many people as you can. Let them all also take the benefit out of it. We are all learning. It is not that I will not say that I am a Pandita, I know everything. I am also learning. Prabhu is also learning. We are all students, and while we are students, we can also be an apprentice and we can teach others also. You learn something, you go and teach the others. And we remain a student still. I am also still learning. You will also be a student, and then you also learn out of it. We go and share with others. And we don't add masala to whatever we actually learn. We read from the scriptures and then we say that this is what is given in scriptures. That's all. Our business is like a postman. A postman doesn't actually open the letter and do grammatical corrections in the letter and then he puts the envelope back and then disposes it. No. Whatever was given to them, he is actually disposing that. That's all. That's what our job is. Our Acharya A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, he says, this movement will grow and then actually expand very nicely as long as we don't add any masala to the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. As long as we keep it pure to its intent and give the same message to others, the movement will grow and intelligent people will come and take it. When you sell some nice glass pieces, some glass article, you make a nice peacock out of glass and sell it for 100 rupees, many people will come and actually take it. And when you sell diamond, not many people will come and take it. Right? We are selling diamonds here. We don't really expect so many people to actually come and take it. But intelligent people will come. Krishna is sitting in the heart of everybody and Krishna will inspire everybody. And even if some people who come, they may not actually stay here in this moment also. Like we have seen, like we have hundreds of people will actually come and eventually so many actually fade away. They feel that outside things are actually very important for them and not this. But some people will take to the core of their heart, they feel that this is more important for them and they stick on to it. They spend more time, they grow, they help themselves. Not everybody may stay. Just like as he said, when you are selling diamonds, not everybody will come to purchase it. When you sell glass pieces, so many people will come. Right? We are not expecting crowd, thousands of them. We are fine with hundreds of them. If we get hundreds of quality people, we are actually fine. Just like our Acharya used to say that one moon is sufficient for lighting up the whole night. We don't need so many stars. Right? Our Prabhupada's spiritual master A.C. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said saying that if I could make one pure devotee in my lifetime, I will consider my life to be successful. That's what the Acharyas actually speak about. So you are welcome. Take up this process of Krishna consciousness, take up these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, help yourself become a good devotee. Your life is in your hands. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments, any questions from anyone? Yes, Mataji.
When you spoke about the karmas, when we think ill, is that also counted as karma?
Okay, nice question. So if we think bad about somebody, is that really karma? In other yugas, yes. In this yuga, no. In Kali Yuga, this is an exempt. Until you go and physically do something by hands or by mouth, you physically don't speak it out or engage your hands or legs, engage your body, as long as you keep it in your mind and then bury it eventually, you are safe. The moment you engage, you are in problem. Right? That is one benediction for Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, it is kind of excused. They know that Kali Yuga people are wretched. They don't have control over their mind. They will think so many bad things about others. As long as you keep it in the thinking level, it is fine. The moment you do, you are gone.
Only imagination, no actions.
Yes. As long as you can control your thoughts and keep it in the bury it there itself, you are safe. But the power of mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra is something like when you take a big pan and put lot of seeds, right? If you have the seeds will actually sprout out when environment is good. Right? When you put the seed in the ground, you put some little water, the seed will actually germinate and come out. But the same seed in a pan, when you actually roast it nicely and then put it in the ground, it will not come out. The seed is already burnt. A burnt seed doesn't have the life anymore. So in same way, all the tendencies, papa, that we have in us, they are like seeds in our own mind, in our own heart. When you chant the Maha Mantra, when you chant the holy name of the Lord, all those seeds are actually burnt in the fire of the holy name, fire of devotional service. And that burnt seed will never germinate out. That's why this is a spiritual activity. We are doing spiritual activity. We are not doing pious activity. Pious activity means I do good to others, I get good reactions for it. We are doing spiritual activity. We are not doing pious activity. And in a spiritual activity, both pious and impious things gets burnt. Both papa and punya get burnt. And when you don't have any balance, papa or punya, you don't need to take another birth and suffer. Even if you have one punya, you will have to take birth and then enjoy for it. Right? We are not doing papa or punya here. We distribute prasadam of the Supreme Lord. We offer the food to the Supreme Lord and we distribute it as His mercy. We don't distribute food here. We don't distribute vegetarian food. There's prasadam there for all of us waiting. It is a food that is offered to the Supreme Lord, and the blessings of the Lord is actually distributed there. We give spiritual food, karma-free food. And for that food, there is no reactions. When you go give a normal food even to a beggar, for the food that you have given to you, to the beggar will one day give the food back to you. And for that, you will have to take a life. Nice, no? Know the place where you are living. Right? Even to do something good is also a problem. For that also, you will take a birth. So that's why we say spiritualize your activity. We go and give prasadam to others. We give the mercy of the Lord. It is not that we don't think saying that I am giving this to the other person. No. This is actually Krishna's property. Krishna has given all this food to us and we are distributing what Krishna has given to others. It doesn't belong to me also. There's no connection with me. Krishna's mercy, we are distributing it. That's all.
Prabhuji, in prasadam there will be some vegetables, everything that we are cutting and giving to God. Like we are doing some karma and giving to God.
If you don't offer it to the Lord and then give, it is karma. Once you offer it to the Lord, then it becomes karma-free food. It is spiritualized.
And the other thing is like Bhagavad Gita, when we read, all our problems will be like we get solution for all our problems, and it is like science. So why it is not included in our education system?
That's the unfortunate thing.
Education.
Very unfortunate thing.
No, in BHU and all the curriculum has come that. Subjects what we are reading, I feel it is better to give Bhagavad Gita. Should be
In fact, that was the only education in the past. There was no other education. That was the only education in the past. Even today, many devotees teach their children through Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. There is a lot of things to actually learn from the scriptures. But unfortunately, we are losing our own culture. That's the reality of it.
why we are lacking back with that.
We are getting inspired by Western culture. We think that is education.
Education minister has to
Everybody wanted, my son wanted to become a doctor.
Yes, I want to
My
go.
daughter wanted to be biggest.
I want to make my son go to America, earn money in billions of dollars, and the parents suffer here back.
Everybody wanted to do the local school.
Yes.
No school only they even
Yes.
from this here also.
Yeah, we think that is status. It's a problem with the status. I think if my son or a daughter actually gets studies in an international school, I can go and proudly say.
Everybody
It's all
wanted to-
problems with us, basically.
Apart from Bhagavad Gita, should we read Upanishad as well?
You can read, but do we have time? That's a question. There are so many literatures actually available. Do we have time to learn all of that and put that in our practice in our life? It is very difficult. That's why in Kali Yuga it is actually recommended. Recommended scriptures is mainly Bhagavatam. And for Bhagavatam, the prelude or the preliminary education is Bhagavad Gita.
What about Vedanta?
You can read all those things. There are so many scriptures to read. How much time you have, that's a question. And what is the conclusion you make out of it, that's another question. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, once again, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Vedaisha sarver ahameva vedyaha. Out of all Vedas, I am to be known at the end of the day. If after reading all the Vedas, if we don't understand saying that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is the use of reading all those Vedas? So you can spend hundreds of times, hours, and then read all the scriptures. You can become a Trivedi, Chaturvedi, all those things. But what is the question? What is the use?
And what about the Nishkam Karma Yoga is also occurred?
I'll just say one nice story in this connection. It just struck me. Prabhupada, founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he was actually walking in the beach of Mumbai, and then he actually happened to meet some Chaturvedis. They were also coming back, and they were speaking about it. Prabhupada actually simply asked that who is absolute truth? And then they actually started giving so much of explanations about it. And then Prabhupada asked a small boy in the Gurukula, he asked who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is absolute truth? The boy actually simply said Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada gave him a cookie and then he became happy. That's all. So the boy did not know, he was not a Chaturyogi, he was not a Trivedi and all those things. But he understood the conclusion saying that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So after reading all the scriptures, if we don't understand the essence, what is the use? So that's why scriptures say that Bhagavatam is actually the final conclusion of all the Vedas. After writing all the literatures, Vyasadeva was still despondent. He was still actually unhappy. You read first canto, 5th chapter of Bhagavatam, it very clearly says after writing all the scriptures, Vyasadeva was not quite happy. And then Narada Muni instructed him saying that you wrote all the scriptures but you have not sufficiently glorified the Supreme Lord. Now you write one scripture which is only intended to glorify the Supreme Lord, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is said to be the scriptures mainly for Kali Yuga people. In the beginning of the Bhagavatam, first chapter of Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimisharanya, they ask a question saying that because Bhagavatam came just after Krishna departed, Dwapara Yuga. Krishna departed, Kali Yuga started. So the sages, they actually ask, now that Krishna has actually departed, where should we take shelter of? And for that, Shaunaka Rishi answers saying that you take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is actually the literature for Kali Yuga mainly. We can make use of that, or we can spend a lot of time and come to the same conclusion what Bhagavatam actually speaks about. It's up to us. Did it help, Prabhu? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Prabhu, you had raised your hand.
I just wanted to ask, why initially you were saying that every moment we are doing karma. And karma is something when we act. And you also gave an example that when you cut the vegetable, that is also karma. But that way, we are bound to do karma and do sins.
Yes.
Knowingly
Yes.
also.
Yes. As long as you are here, you cannot escape from it.
Whether it is with respect to, cutting a vegetable or somebody cutting an animal, karma is happening.
Yes. That's true. The amount of pain you give to others, that you get it back. The amount of pain you give to a plant is not that much compared to the amount of pain you give to an animal, because the animal knows. You go and butcher a goat, a calf. The cow knows saying that the mother cow will cry. It knows saying that he is butchering my kid. It knows the pain. It can feel the pain. It cries out of its pain. Right? The same pain is not exhibited by a plant or a tree. The amount of pain is less. The amount of consciousness is less. So the reaction that you get is also less. Being a vegetarian is nice, but being a vegetarian is not karma free.
So that is what you are saying, that amount of pain
Yes.
that you are
Yes.
giving it back.
So that's why a devotee of the Lord, as per Krishna's instruction, they offer that food to the Supreme Lord, saying that for my living I have to actually take something out of this material world. But I know saying that all these things belongs to you, the Supreme Lord. And as a genuine son or a daughter of the Supreme Lord, I inherit the properties of the Supreme Lord. Yes or no? What belongs to my father is naturally inherited by the child. So all these things belongs to the Supreme Lord, and because it belongs to my father, I inherit some of it. I will take the small quota of whatever I deserve, knowing that this belongs to you, and I am very thankful for whatever you are giving to me. And out of that thanks, just like in the Vedic culture, devotees used to go to Ganga, and they used to take the water of Ganga and do a arpana to Ganga back. In the same way, we take everything from the Supreme Lord and we offer it back to the Supreme Lord out of love, and the Lord actually takes the component of love out of it and returns back everything to us. That becomes prasadam. So that's why we actually, anything that comes with us, we know saying that it is being given to us by Lord, we offer it to the Lord, and then we actually use it as the Lord's prasadam.
So does the Niskam Karma also consider as Sakarma? Like if we
It is okay, but it is not the highest one. Nishkama karma is like you are being neutral. You're actually being neutral there. You're not being attached to the fruits of activities. You are neutral. But a devotee is better than Nishkama Karma. And he knows the intention. He knows everything has a connection with the Supreme Lord. And he connects everything to the Lord and lives a life in harmony with the Lord.
But in Bhagavad Gita it says the ultimate destination is same for Nishkam Karma Yoga and austerities there.
At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna recommends saying that Manmanav Bhavam Adbhakto. He says, become my devotee. Offer your namaskara to me. Offer your mind to me. You do all your activities in remembrance of me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha, he says. Sarva kala. Always remember me and then do your activities here. Knowing that I am the Lord of everything.
But Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga all are like directed to the same group, right? Like same ultimate destination.
It is ultimately yes. But if Bhakti Yoga is actually said to be the highest. Bhakti Yoga is like, if it's something like a steps of a ladder. Everything is actually making progress. Right? But Bhakti Yoga is said to be the pinnacle there.
Babuji, you said that like you are doing some karma here. So in next life you will get based on your karma action. So what is my question? Suppose I am putting my hand in the fire. I will be get burnt right away, not in the next life. So my question, if we say that this karma of this life will give the fruit in the next life, then the question is, there was life, I mean the first life. If this is the nth life, suppose, then there should be one time there will be first life, right? So the first life is the result of which karma?
That's a nice question. That actually is a very big topic to actually talk about. It's something like people, just like in the, there's a saying that whether the egg came from hen or hen came from egg, whatever it is, like murgi se anda aaya or ande se murgi aaya. It's something like that, right? So that's a big topic. If needed, we can discuss it offline. That's a wonderful topic. Many acharyas have actually given commentary about this. There are a lot of books actually are written about it. So we can discuss that offline. That's a big topic, in fact, I would say.
Okay, one
Yes.
more thing. When we say karma, most of the time means everybody say about action. Okay, but action a person can do from body only, right? Action. can
Not
be-
okay. Okay.
Okay. So my question is like this. First of all, we are not body,
Okay.
right? So whatever actions are getting done through body,
I know where you are getting to.
that is not mine.
You take any auto in Bangalore.
Yeah.
The driver actually drives the auto,
Right.
but who pays end of it? The passenger, right?
But here no passenger.
You are the passenger. You are sitting inside this auto.
Yeah, there is a auto and there is a driver, right? In my case, there is a auto and there is a driver. Okay.
Right.
So whatever auto does, what I mean to say, whatever auto does, it's not affecting driver.
Okay.
Means if auto.
Who is driver here?
In the journey,
Who is driver here?
I am driver.
You are not the driver here, unfortunately.
When I say I am again. It means Krishna. Basically.
Krishna is also not the driver here.
Mind.
It's little difficult actually to understand how things are actually working here. It's quite complex. It is not simple
No,
thing.
but this answer I want to know who is the driver.
Prakriti, right?
Yes.
Rajasthan.
Krishna says that material nature is the driver.
But then who is the controller?
Material nature is the controller. Just like we discussed about saying that your own body, you are not having control over it. How is this material? Your body actually is working. It is working on its own accord.
No, body is working because body is made of nature.
Yeah, the nature is actually in control of your body.
So that's true. Because,
Yes.
Because it's made of nature. So obviously nature control. right?
Yes.
But again, I am not body.
Yes.
There is something. The controller is behind body, right?
Yes.
So my question is nothing to do with the body. My question is.
You cannot separate body and soul. You can live in the spiritual platform, but not in the material platform. As long as you are in the material platform, you are doing material things, you are allowing the body to do material things, you have to face the consequences of whatever this body does. You cannot escape from it. If you are a transcendental person, completely above all this material impacts, you have no desire for anything in this material world, you want to do activities only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, then you may do so many things, but still you are not feeling the implications of it. Srila Prabhupada gives an example to it. Just like how a soldier for a country, he may go and fight with the enemies and he may kill thousands of enemies, but he will not be hanged by the government. But if he comes inside and kills even one civilian, he will be put to death. As long as he is in harmony with the Supreme Lord's plan and he does so many things, he is not bound at all. But the moment he takes charge of himself and he does something crazily, he will be punished for it. So if you make use of this body and live a body in harmony, in the interest and with the plans of the Lord, you can do anything for the interest of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. The moment you do something for your own pleasure, you become responsible for what you are doing.
Okay, so if suppose that same person kills one civilian and he gets the punishment, then also punishment will be material in nature. What
Yes.
I mean to say, it's going to be punished material body only.
Yes.
Nothing to do with spiritual body.
Yes.
So
Nobody can touch even your
nobody
spiritual
can touch.
body. Yes.
Nobody can touch. So when spirit is cannot be touched, so whatever things are getting done through materially, like in this example, if the same person kills one civilian, okay, it can be immoral act, but at the same time karma should not come. What I mean to say, karma should not come on spiritual body. I mean to say spirit is वो जो निरंजन है या it cannot be touched. So again and again,
It is true as long as we have that understanding, we are in that consciousness.
Okay.
If we are not in that consciousness, we think we are this body. Today we go decorate this body, do all those things because we think we are this body. The moment we think we are this body, we do end up doing so many things for the body. And then we become implicated and we have to face the reactions for it.
so karma is again memory.
Karma is again?
It's again memory. It's again what I
You
mean.
can say something like that, yeah. But it is not just memory. It's like it's almost like you are hurting the feeling of others. Every person has a feeling, and you go and hurt that feeling, you become responsible for it. We are living a responsible life. You cannot live independently everything as you think. Just like they say, just do it. You cannot just do it here. You are responsible. For everything that you do, you are responsible here. That makes sense?
But Prabhuji, that army example that you gave, that soldier going and killing,
Mm-hmm.
if that is not in harmony with the God's plan. I mean, same way a butcher is killing or chopping.
Now, if government is aligned with the Lord's plan, then it becomes Lord's plan. Otherwise, whoever is leading the administration, they take responsibility of all the soldiers. Just like a king. A king actually takes sinful, if his praja does sinful activity, the king also gets the reaction for it. For example, a father or a mother. In fact, our scriptures actually saying that if you go and beget a children, Bhagavatam says that if you are begetting a children and you are not helping your children to cross over the cycle of birth and death, then the scriptures say better don't become a father or mother. Because you get so much of sin because of it. Yes. Hold on, let me finish it. Right? So you become responsible for it. So we all, as a teacher, a king, or anybody in the administrative post, a parent, everybody is actually responsible. And they take the sins of all their people who are dependent on them. If the dependents actually do something wrong, a portion of sin actually comes to them also. Even a person who actually gives advice to somebody, if that advice right? It results in committing some sinful activity. We take some portion of that sin on us. So it is not that we are living a very independent life. Everybody is responsible. So you go to take administrative post, you don't do the right things there, you are responsible for it. You will have to face the consequence for it. If you are not doing the right thing there. So people who have the powers, they should exercise their powers properly, knowing what is there in the scriptures. That's why in the olden days, even the king is called as a Raja Rishi. They are not just Raja, but they are Rishi also. They know what is actually given in the scriptures. Or they keep Brahmanas who are well educated person in the scriptures. They take help from them and then they actually take right decisions. Not just they make crazy decisions. Not for any swartha, not for any personal interest. Right? So it's a responsible job. Everything is a responsible job. You take some responsibility, then if you don't do it properly, you have to face the consequence for it. Did it help?
Whoever is there at the top, whoever is making the decisions, they face equal.
They have to align themselves with the Lord's plans. If they don't align, they are responsible for it.
So in the case of soldier, you said the government.
So even parents, that's like an immediate at home. As a parent, if we don't take responsibility to align with the Lord's plan, then we also become implicated a lot. Why talk about government now? We have to more bother about ourselves first. Right? So let's focus for immediate thing. Don't focus far thing.
In home, when you find one cockroach, immediately we are trying to kill it, you take a stick, kill it. That is the sin only, no?
Obviously, yes.
But Sanatana Dharma says, isn't it? Scorpion
In
is
fact, killing a mosquito, you know why it comes and bites a other living entity? A mosquito will not bite other living entity normally.
for food.
Only a pregnant mosquito, for the welfare of the eggs that is actually carrying, it will go and suck the blood so that my children actually get nourished. What is wrong for mosquito to do that? A pregnant mosquito does that. When no male mosquito will come and bite.
Dengue will come.
What is it?
Right? You kill a mosquito, you are not just killing one living entity there. Just like killing a pregnant woman is not considered even by the state law as killing one person. It is considered as two persons killing. Even the state law. So be careful before doing anything. That's all I will say. Yes, Prabhu, you have been waiting for long.
So what the sin? So what the difference of sin? So that's what is the father in the case. Everybody asks, scripture says sin. But then we see if I don't do that,
You have the freedom to prevent yourself. You can put a mosquito net and then safeguard yourself.
my mind was
Enjoy it. That's all I can say. That's what loss of courage. If you deserve to actually get a dengue, you will get a dengue. Even if you're doing all protections in your home, you will get it. You will not escape from it.
you're talking like Gandhi. Gandhi once.
I am not talking like Gandhiji. I am saying what is given in scriptures.
So Gandhi also said what he said, right? Hindu women were being raped. Then he said that,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
see, there were some rights between So Hindu women were getting raped by some Muslim women.
Okay.
Then he said that either get raped or get away from there.
Okay.
So, but he didn't stop the Muslim people stopping from all this atrocity. But he stopped.
Okay, I don't want it to get into that. It's.
At least you're talking like that.
I'm not talking like that. I'm just telling you what is given in scriptures. It is up to you to make a decision and then act accordingly for your life.
The mosquito is coming and biting.
I neither said don't kill mosquitoes. I neither said you kill mosquitoes for the good intention. It is not papa. I only said what is given in scriptures. You exercise it and you make proper decision out of it. It's up to you. I'm not saying that.
My experience, what I was saying. Don't cause harm to others.
Don't call.
Don't cause
Okay?
So until that point, whatever you do is right. Once you are causing harm to others, that is your sin. That is
You,
what I am
it may be your philosophy, but that doesn't work in this material world. Material works, hold on, material world actually works with Krishna's philosophy. Whatever Krishna says is right, that is right. Whatever Krishna says is wrong, is wrong. You go and ask 100 people here, 100 people will say 100 good things, 100 bad things. It everybody's law becomes doesn't make it. You cannot manufacture law at your home. Law is actually given by government. If you don't follow it, you will be punished. In the same way, there is a law for material nature. You don't follow it, you will be punished. You may think saying that I am good, I am best, I am on all those things, but in the law of nature, if you are seen to be bad, you are bad. That's all.
But
Simple.
Law of nature, because we are given five senses, and there is not six senses. So we are governed by six senses, and the six senses run from the nature, and we make a decision based on the action reaction.
Okay.
So you do something, if other persons are behaving like that, then I think it is good. If other person getting hurt and is not, and that person is again reacting badly, then I think that this actually is bad.
So that's what we have been living so far.
That's what happening.
That's what I'm just saying. Let me complete. That's what we are living a life so far. But now we are getting exposed to something higher knowledge where we are talking about not just my life, your life. We are talking about the nature's law. How nature's law actually works. And if we don't align with the nature's law, then we may think saying I am good. For example, I may think saying that I am Prime Minister of India. I may think like that. But am I the Prime Minister of India? No, I am just giving you an example. I may think I am Prime Minister of India. But I am not Prime Minister of India. Nobody will accept it. Similarly, you may accept something as good. Others may not accept it at all.
I agree.
Yeah.
But see, I talked to one of my Christian friends. He said that so killing animals in the name of God for your survival is allowed. But dreaming of women in your dream, having sex with her is a sin. Yes, I argue with her. I argue with my friend. See, if you're killing an animal, see, when you kill an animal, the animal goes through a lot of torture. And then, but you are saying that I am killing the animal for my survival, and I am offering to the God. When I offer the food to the animal,
Okay, I got your question. That's something.
the woman in my dreams, but I am not having sex with her.
That's something debatable. Like it's something like a man-made thing. It is not God-made thing. So that's something a little tricky, and then a lot of controversial things are there. We can take it offline if you want. Interest of time. It's almost 7:00 now, so we will end here. We will actually do japa, and we have Kirtan. Everybody have their own plans for the Sunday evening. I don't want to stop their plans. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll do